is, Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready? It's time!
Welcome back to another software explorations. But, wait. It's Sunday afternoon. Today is Sunday, August 11th, 2024. It is Sunday afternoon. You know what that means, right? You know what that means? We are getting into Terraform. What? No. We're not getting into Terraform today. We have moved on past Terraform for now. I'm sure we're going to revisit it in the future. But we are getting into DevOps as a whole. So what does that mean? That means we are going to be learning for ourselves all the details, the ins and outs of how development and operations meet. When development and operation walk into a bar, we get DevOps, right? So we're going to figure out all the different software behind it. We're going to learn about, definitely about Docker. Today we're going to be looking more into Docker. All that good stuff, right? So if you do not know who I am your host of the show and of the channel. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. You know what? I'm going to celebrate myself. I am my biggest fan. I'm just saying. All right. So what are we going to do? So let's jump into our agenda for today. I'm going to throw up a 2-hour timer on the screen. And there we go. So, and I'm just going to take just a second to acknowledge my friends in the chat who are here bright and early. We have Ferris says, "Don't let your car fool you. I am first. Tech Pookies, rise up." Rise up off the couch, Tech Pookies, get to work. And your car says, "Don't let Ferris fool you. He is never first." Think about this, right? Ferris, think about this. If your car's time zone, if for right now it's 11:56 for your car, and it is 1:56 for Ferris, who's really first? Interesting. What about that? So let's jump into our agenda for today, and then we're going to take off. All right. So First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of the newest subscribers. We are growing at a rapid pace. So thank you guys so much.
I appreciate you.
But also, we can never forget those who have been subscribed to us for a very long time, rocking with us. Those from like day one, like my guy Don, like Leanne, who popped up yesterday in our amazing Saturday morning live stream. We went for a long time, but it was great. It was absolutely great. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of my subscribers who are helping us grow. If you haven't done so, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow so that we can continue putting out this amazing message out there. All right. So next up, I just want to say a big shout out and salute to all of, the tech savages. That includes the tech barbarians, the tech prodigy, the technical explorers, all those who sign up for the Patreon for free, the tech mercenaries, the YouTube members, and of course, always the bag chasers. But wait, I want to say, and look who is just right on time. I'm just going to put this up right here. It says, hello, everyone. I want to give a big shout out to the newest tech barbarian. Raw Juice and Herbs is now a tech barbarian. We are going to run it up. We're going to crush it, going to go to infinity and beyond. Shout out to Raw Juice and Herbs. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the tech barbarians. The card tells me to check Discord. Let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on. Your car got proof. Ferris. He sent me a screenshot. He says, I am first in both time zones. Ferris, you might have to sit this one out. So let's, and Rogers and Herb says, Alexis G, also known as, I didn't want to put your name out there, but if you did it, then I will refer to my new tech barbarian as Alexis. Welcome, Alexis. Welcome.
I appreciate you.
And
let's get it.
You know how we do. We are going to run it up over here. All right. So let's get to it. And if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Go and check out the Patreon. You can join for free. I just uploaded. So why should you check out the Patreon? I just uploaded the sprint review from last Sunday. So anyone has access to it. You just gotta join for free, have access to it. You can see what we work on. And I also uploaded the full Scrum Night where we have our sprint review, our sprint retrospective, and our planning for our next sprint that we're currently working on right now. So in 2 weeks from now, I will be uploading the current sprint's sprint review, all right, and Scrum Night. So definitely check that out. Have an understanding of how it works in an agile environment. All right. So and next week, either Sunday or Monday morning, I will be releasing a video on, for those who love to get certifications, but you know what sucks about getting certifications? This is what sucks the most. There might be more, but this is what initially sucks the most. Studying, taking practice test after practice test, and then going to take the official test, and then you fail. Lost time, lost effort, lost money. All right. So I'm going to be releasing a video that talks about how to help you prepare better for certifications. My strategy, if I was into certification like that, what I would do so that you can be more confident when you go into taking these tests. All right. So that's going to be next week. Patreon video that's going to be dropped. So you definitely want to tune in for that. And there's a bunch of other information in there. It's so much information in there. So, and you can always ask me any question and things like that. I always respond to the direct messages in the Patreon. So if you have any questions, hit me up there. All right. Next up, let's jump into our live show schedules. So what do we got? So yesterday, we had a hoot of a time on the Saturday morning show, which is named Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate. Yes, they do. And we see how they revise these numbers. It's like they'll give us some interesting numbers, sometimes not even so great. And then we're like, oh, okay, this is not too bad. I mean, it's kind of bad, but it's not too bad. But then you come back a month later and say, oh, by the way, we revised it up by like 50,000. But guess what? Nobody ever goes back to look at what they revised it to. And so we're like, okay, it wasn't too bad. But then we find out it was a dire situation. But that's why here, us tech savages, we have to look into it to see, because we don't want to be standing there and they're like,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So we had a great show yesterday. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly suggest you go and check that out. We reviewed the non-manufacturing PMI, the services PMI, purchasing manager index. We looked at the jobless claims, and then we celebrated our national debt reaching $35 trillion.
Bruh.
Yep. So it is what it is. Next up, we have our Sunday afternoons today. We are transitioning towards DevOps from Terraform. We're moving forward into DevOps. We're going to get a comprehensive understanding and overview. It's going to be a while because it was like a year we've been working on Terraform, just about a year. And now we're going into full-blown DevOps. Going to be looking at Docker, Ansible, some more Terraform stuff, microservices in Docker, so many different things. All right, so we're going to be doing all of that. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A show where you can call in. You can call in. You can ask questions in the chat. You can even email me questions if you wanted to. You can also, and I'll also find questions as well, so we'll always have content. We have so much fun. And then we have Thursday nights, software explorations. This past Thursday, we worked on Jenkins. We started off on AWS. AWS was not treating us fairly. I felt like, I was unwanted. When I was looking to be unburdened, I was only unwanted by AWS. So we went to local Docker, and this laptop killed it. Lastly, or this coming Thursday, we're going to be continuing working on Jenkins on Docker. We're going to try to get our playwright test to run on Docker locally. All right. And then we have our morning shows. Last, we have our morning shows Mondays and Wednesdays. Because my calendar was not set right. Tomorrow we're going to be starting at 7:30 because I have a coaching call before that. So, and I am looking very, very much forward to that coaching call. Let's get it. So tomorrow morning, 7:30, we're going to continue looking into some news stories, and we're going to try to push our app to the Google Play Store. And we also have that on Wednesday. So Wednesday we'll probably start around 7 o'clock, 7:15. We'll figure it out. We shall figure it out. All right. So tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., we are going to continue what we do. All right. Looking at the numbers to review and do our mobile development. All right. So that is what we have going on for our live show. So clap it up for that. Now, jump into the pre-recorded content on Mondays. We have Candid Conversations tomorrow. So last week, we spoke about the 5 ways that boot camps lie to you and scam you out of thousands and thousands of dollars. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about why it is a requirement if you ever want to get anywhere. If you want to win, you have to separate yourself from the pack, from the crowd. Stop following, stop doing what they tell you that you have to do because of whatever reason that they give you. You need to use sound judgment. And that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Be your own person, make your own decisions. All right. Wednesdays, software explorations, concept and overviews. Last Wednesday, we had a Python overview. This coming Wednesday, we're going to be do an intro to DevOps. Like, what exactly is DevOps? Because we're going to be talking about DevOps on Sunday. So we need to have a better understanding of what exactly it is. And just starting this course on DevOps, it just unlocked so many things about how I see the infrastructure at work. Like, yes, I use it and stuff like that. But just the other day, we had to set up a new project, a new repository. And I'm like, and now it just clicked. When I heard of microservice, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what we're doing here. So now we're probably going to end up migrating the apps that the tech barbarians are building into microservices using maybe Azure, maybe AWS, maybe Google. But we'll figure that out, right? Fridays, the bug bite. Last week we gave an update on the TikTok ban, what's going on with that. And then this week, we're going to be talking about a lawsuit that Delta has filed against Microsoft and CrowdStrike over the outage that cost them I think it was like between $350 million to $500 million. And throughout the week, we also release shorts as well as clips from the Q&A show. I am working diligently with my video editor that we can get a lot more clips out from the live shows as well. So that's my goal. That's what we're trying to do. All right. So, and I'm really thinking about how to get some more shorts out there as well. So, we're going to figure it out. We are going to figure it out. So that is, that's a lot. That is a lot. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you are taking notes, but that is what we work on. That's our pre-recorded, and that is our live stream schedule as well. All right, let's get to the chat and then a little quick discussion, and then we're going to get to work. All right. So let's see what we got here. Your card to check Discord. Let's see. So Ferris says that he needs some juice too. Well, check out Raw Juice and Herbs, aka Alexis, on Instagram. I don't know if you have TikTok, Alexis, but I know you have Instagram. So check out that page over there. See what she's talking about. All right, and let's see. Fair says, nah, because I don't comment don't mean I'm not first. If a tree falls in the forest, but no one is around to hear it or to see it or hear it, does it actually make a noise? Did it even fall? That's the question. Your card says, just hold on to this L, Ferris. Hold on to this L. We got it. Only W's in the chat. And we got my guy in the building. What? Bitch says, take off the blazer, loosen up the tie. Superman is alive. And Mitch's like, I'm not a day one, but I feel it. No, Mitch, you are a day zero. Mitch is a day zero because Mitch came over to the channel and he has been here since. And it's like where Mitch goes, the people follow. And so shout out to Mitch. So much appreciated.
I appreciate you.
And says, Rob doesn't like the tech bookie name. Ever see his face when he says it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just get up off the couch. And says, why you changed the intro in the past 2 days to the original? Don't let Mitch peer pressure you. Actually, yesterday, I think I played it before I ended up playing the original intro. But since you are asking, Mitch, this is just for you, Mitch. That was just for Mitch because Mitch loves that intro so much that I felt bad not playing it today. So there we go. All right, cool. Hopefully we got that out of the way. No hard feelings, Mitch. No hard feeling. And Ferris says, people fail? They sure do. And we'll talk about that once we get to that segment. Or, I'll talk about that in the Patreon. But yeah, people definitely do fail. And it says, what makes the name catchy is it doesn't make sense. A Pookie would never be in tech. You'd be surprised, Yakar. You would be surprised. I know he hates it though. Tech Pookies for life. Rise up. And it says, you just have to know the author intent on the exam. For example, you might have the same question between ISC2 or ISACA or CompTIA, but ISC2 value people, ISACA value operations. CompTIA is general. I mean, there are a lot more certifications in cybersecurity, Ferris. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, Ferris. And it says, that's it. Only 35 trillion. Bidenomics can fix it easy. For real, for real. And Ferris says, he says, I am. Are you in the forest or are you the forest, Ferris? So which one is it? Which one is it? It says, that's like going to work first and not clocking in. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That used to happen like when we had to put it when you had to like log into the computer, not the computer, but like to like on the whatever machine that they use on the computer to clock in, and some people would forget to do that. They need somebody to fix it and stuff like that. All right. Let's see. Home is where you work. Anything else? Mitch says, I'm out. Where are you going? Where are you going, Mitch? No, cybersecurity is the center of our world and global economy. Quite possibly. All right. So discussion time. Let's do a quick talk. Why don't we? So we are going to go here. Nope, not there. We're going to go here and we're going to say to icebreaker, hesitation versus motivation, right? So we don't want to talk about this real quick. So I speak to a lot of people, right? And they want to get in tech, they want to do this, but they don't know how to start. They don't know where to go. And then some people, they will be so like ready to go. And then once they start, they're like, then it's like, nope, they totally change, right? And then there's some other people, I'm just describing some people that I come across, right? That they want to do something, but then they never actually get started on it. So you ever meet those people who says, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about doing that, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about doing that. And then a year later, they're still telling you about their plans. Like I used to watch this channel where this one guy used to talk about for like 3 years, how he was thinking about opening up a hot dog stand. Yes, a hot dog stand, believe it or not, right? So what I'm saying is that which one is going to win? Is it going to be your hesitation to get started on something, or are you going to be motivated? But if you are motivated, are you going to follow through? Because motivation is actually, in the words of David Goggins, motivation is crap. I think Jocko Willink says it too, but motivation is crap. Because what happens, because motivation works only when you want to do something. What happens when you don't feel like doing it? Where does the discipline come in? So what is the mindset? As soon as it's not that you shouldn't make wise decisions, but if you know that you need something that's going to benefit you in the long run, but for months go by and you haven't made a move on it, you're hurting yourself, and every day that you wait is a day lost. It's 24 hours lost. Time is money. Shout out to the time cost calculator that just popped up in the chat, available in the iOS store. Right? Shout out to the time. Like, as I'm talking about your time, look who decides to show up. The time cost calculator. So, are you just going to be motivated and then not do anything? Or are you going to have something in mind to do, but never get started? I'm noticing a trend. I won't tell you what trend that is, but certain people, they'll be real eager to start learning something. I'm all right, this is what you have to do. And then they go ghost. While other people, they say, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, this is what you have to do. And then before I can even take a blink of an eye, they're already started. They're off to the races. And guess what? Those are the people who are the tech savages, and they are coming for what you believe belongs to you. But nothing belongs to you. Nothing. They'll take your job. And guess what? And I will sit back and laugh, because they will take your job. They will take your salary. They will take your promotion. That's what I'm training them to do. And I don't feel any way about it. I want them to take it, because if you can't keep it, you don't deserve it. All right. That's that's my icebreaker. Hesitation versus motivation. But you really need dedication and discipline. All right. So with that being said, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then we're going to get to work. All right. Oh, I have to actually get the GitHub repo too. Let me see. All right. Let's see. Let's see what we got in the chat real quick before we get started. Let's see. Pitbull versus African wild dog. And did I say something? I must have missed something. It says African wild dog runs to fight. The dog is hesitant. Just be barking. Ah, got you. See, look how Mitch puts it all together. Shout out to Mitch. And Ferris says that his AI girlfriend motivates you. Well, as long as something motivates you, Ferris, shout out to you. Shout out to you and your AI girlfriend. Tell her that we said hi. Hello, AI girlfriend. Hello. All right. So let's get to it. Let's get to work. So what are we going to do? Let me start up a timer for our first 20-minute segment.
It's time to do.
All right. So what do we got going on today? All right. So we're going to have to download the GitHub repo it's from the course. But let's do a general idea of what DevOps is. All right. So DevOps is where, like I said, it's where development, so like the software engineers, the QA team, the whole software development team, it meets operations. So that's like operations like infrastructure deployment, CI/CD pipeline. We've gone extensively into the CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, continuous testing. So it's where they meet, because back in the days, the way deployment would work is that, so the software engineers, they build the software, the QA testers test it and say, all right, this is ready to deploy. This is where it's located. Now, the operations team, they're going to take the software and then they're going to install it on servers, wherever those servers live, whether they're in the cloud, whether they're on premises, in some data center, they're going to deploy it. Right? Not in that cloud, not in that cloud over there, right? Not, it's like, it's not in our basement. I mean, I guess you could have a server in your basement, but 99% of the time, the server is not in your basement. That's running this application, right? Well, there was a server in somebody's basement, but that's a totally different story, right? Totally different story. But the server's not in your basement, but it's a service. That could be a data center or something like that. But we're not going to put it in like the cloud here. It is a cloud that is actually They call it the cloud, but it's actually like the data centers for Amazon, for Google Cloud, for Azure, whoever, you know. And there's like other companies out there as well, but those are the big three. That is the big three, right? And so, you know, you can have it on like an EC2 instance, you can have databases, all that. So it's like you're taking the infrastructure away from having on-prem to having it in a cloud provider. And in the cloud provider, you can scale up easily. Cause like, let's say you have a server on premises, right? And you're running out of space. So now you have to like shut down the server. You might have to like, you have downtime, all these different type of things to add more memory, to add more hard drive. But with the cloud technology, you can make these modifications on the fly. And so it saves you on manpower. You can connect to it remotely, things like that. So where DevOps comes in is the whole process of deployment. It gets closer together. And why is that important? Because it allows, it fits into your agile practices where you're able to deploy as part of a story or of a sprint. Some development teams, they will deploy all the features at the end of a sprint. Other software development teams, they will deploy story by story, and that's more in tune with continuous deployment. All right, so they run a series of tests through the CI/CD pipeline, and then if the test passed and everything is good, then they'll just deploy it, merge into master. They'll do the whole deployment thing. But the thing is with that, you need an easier way to develop, not develop, but to deploy. So deployment used to take, like, it used to be a whole time thing. Like, okay, we have to deploy at 6 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that. Now you're able to deploy. Now you're able to deploy whenever you feel like it. Now you got to be careful not to bring every single system down and cancel a bunch of flights. That's a whole different story. But it allows you to be able to deploy and roll back and things like that very easily using GitHub, using different CI/CD tools like Jenkins, like TeamCity, like Circle CI, like Octopus, which we're going to cover all those at some point. And who uses DevOps? Everyone. The software developers, the QA engineers, the team that sets up the DevOps environment for other teams to consume. So I'll give you a quick example, right? The company that I work for, they have a team who is responsible for the infrastructure that we run our software on, but they're not the ones who actually do the deployment. They make it possible. They enable us to be able to deploy the software ourselves. They put that in place so that they don't have to know how every single software development team works. We have tons of software development teams. They're a small team. So they're like, all right, we're going to make all the infrastructure available for you. And you can use all these different things, you know? So that's a very, very high level overview of DevOps. On Wednesday, we're going to go a lot more in depth to it. But just wanted to give you that to get started, right? So with that being said, we are going to actually download the course repository. Let's see where it is. That's not what I wanted. And for the actual course that I'm going through, if anybody wants to follow along, I will share it in the Patreon, because I'm not going to share it on YouTube, because guess what? They're not paying me any commission to share their course, you know? So as Mitch says, no free lunches. Bruh. So I'm just going to get the repo, and then we will look at the README file and stuff like that. I should open up an ID. I'll figure out which ID I'm going to open it up. Actually, let me see. Let me see if I can do it this way before I do that. Let's go. All right, cool. We can do this like that. Yeah. Let's go here. All right, cool. So we're going to do this. And I'm going to go to, let's go to, I'm going to try to start off with just the, let's go. I'm going to try to start off with just sharing the terminal. And if that works, then we will be in good shape. So, or I guess I can just share the whole screen. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's go here. And if I need to share just a terminal, we'll do that. All right. So let's go to here. And I am going to do gotta clone the repository. And this is why I highly recommend that you learn how to use Git, because it is going to be an essential tool if you are looking to be in a software engineer, in QA, even in cybersecurity to a certain extent. If you want to be in DevOps, like pretty much DevOps moved to code. There's like using Ansible, using Packer. What is Packer? Packer is actually a tool where you can create servers and stuff like that on these different, like you can create images of the instance that you want to launch. So we're going to go through all of that in this course. And I'll give you a quick rundown of what we're going to go through in this course. All right. So let me just clone this repository. And I should have moved it to a different folder, but I'll do that later. CD DevOps. And we're going to so let's look at this screen now. And in this class, they're going to be talking about, let me make this bigger. And Ferris says that he uses GitLab at work. So can you share with us what you use GitLab for at work? So we can get like, cause you're in cybersecurity and I believe, like, I don't know which job it is, because you have so many different jobs, but I'm curious to know which job it is that you use GitLab and what do you use it for? So let's see. So the projects that are included in here is Hello World, and this is for Docker, right? Hello World, Java, JavaScript, and Python, currency exchange, and currency conversion. And these are like the different things in this course, like Docker installation. I guess I can show Docker installation. I already have Docker installed, but I'm not going to install it, but I'll show you where to get it installed if you don't have it installed. Very, very important. Yeah. So Alexis, you can download Docker because you're going to definitely need it for the work that we're going to be doing. But so Docker installation, your first Docker use case. So let's go to Docker website. I'll show you where you get Docker from. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to, so as soon as you get to the homepage, it's going to tell you to download Docker for the computer that you have. I have an Apple Silicon, but if you have a Mac with an Intel chip, if you have a Windows computer, if you have a Linux, download Docker for desktop, and then it's going, after you install it, it's going to look like this. I can actually show Docker on my real computer. So if we look over here, here's my installation of Docker. I still have Jenkins running. Remember from our Roscoe Jenkins Jr. instance or container that we have running? So that's still running. But yeah, so this is pretty much Docker, containers, images, volume. So, and we're going to get into all of that, right? So just wanted to share that. So let's go back over here. So we're going to be, eventually we'll be going through, I'm not going to go through all of these because it is on you to do most of it, but I'm going to talk about them. I can talk about these. And then when we do like our concept and overviews, we can break down a little bit more about these things. I even have some videos on this channel. I have a playlist about Docker as well. So definitely check it out because Docker is very, very important. It's like one of the most used things. Like I remember 10 years ago when Docker first started coming out, didn't make much sense. There wasn't much documentation around it. But now it is like everyone is using Docker or Kubernetes, right? So definitely want to check that out. But we have your first Docker use case, important Docker concepts, playing with Docker images, detached mode and logs, images and containers, Docker client and Docker engine. I don't even know what that. Commands for images, commands for containers, system and stats, images for Python. Let's see. And I really want to get into this part right here for the Docker and microservices, because that's going to be really, really big when you're building out software and you're building out infrastructure on how microservices work with one another. Instead of like building this one big software that everyone has to work on, you can have like many different little components of that software. So all of this whole part right here is going to be super duper important. All right. But let's get into over here. And we're gonna go to, so I'm just gonna run through some, actually, what's the best way to do this? Let me think. Let me try something. Let me try something. Let's say we do that. And what if we do that? All right, cool. Let me see. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. All right. So let's start off with a few different of these commands for Docker, right? So, and I'll just go through each one of them and we'll talk about what they do. And they have these comments over here as well. But let's just try them out for ourselves, right? So if anybody's following along, feel free to try them out. Have any questions, let me know. But we have Docker with 2 dashes version. So we're using Docker version 27, and this is the build ID for Docker. And so the next one, it says running Docker. This is their repo, and it's going to say, or their Docker repo from, I guess they have it on Docker Hub. Let's talk about Docker Hub real quick, right? So Docker Hub is where you can store different images of different images of the software that you want to be able to run that's stored in Docker. All right. So if we go, so we're going to go through this like step by step. So let's look into these actual repositories that would be inside of Docker so we can have an understanding of what exactly we're looking at. And then we'll break down these commands as well. So let's go to hub.docker.com. And if we search for in28min / hello world dash Python. I don't see that one in particular, but let's just do a search. It's not the one. So if we go to that, nope. I saw. So let's take a look at this one. Let's go here. So hello world Python. So this is the one that we're going to actually get. And there's no details on it, but that's fine. Let's go over. Let me make this a little smaller. So now let's go back to our other screen. And let me make this a little wider. This is wide as it goes. All right. So what happened to... Okay. So here, let's start off trying out this command. All right. So we already did our Docker version. Let's do Docker. And what this is going to do, this is actually going to run a Docker container with a Python Hello World application. So let's say we do Docker run -p 5000. So what does this mean? So this means that on port 5000 on your local machine, it's going to map to port 5000 on the Docker container that's being created, right? And we say in 28min /hello-world-python, and then colon. And so then after the colon, you're going to be putting the tag, which if there's nothing that comes after colon, you're just going to look for the latest one. If you put the colon, it's going to look for a tag. So this tag is going to look for 0.0.1.release. And it's probably case sensitive. All right. So now we're going to do enter. So when it's not able to find the image locally, it's going to search it's going to be searching the Docker hub unless you specified another, like a full path to where to look for. Right. So for instance, when we did it using the AWS image that we created for the Poopy Pants app, we put the whole path to AWS. We had to log into AWS for it to be able to download it. But here we did not have that. So it had to download it and pull it in. So now it says that error response from Damien, ports are not available, exposing port 5000. So it looks like we're already using port 5000. So what happens if you're already using port 5000 or whatever port that you're supposed to use, right? So this port, I don't know what would be using it, but let's say this port is already in use. I think Jenkins might be using it now that I think about it. Let's go
Lunch break.
No, Jenkins is using port 50,000. Anyway, so we'll continue. But this is the beautiful part about this, because we just encountered an error, right? So let's say we're just following through the course, and then we're doing exactly what they say, and now we have an error. Well, what do we do? But that's why we're here. That's why on Sunday afternoons, we've been working on Terraform and now we're working on DevOps, because we need to know how to navigate. When we hit a roadblock, how do we figure it out? All right. So when we come back from break, we will dive into this. We'll dive into figuring this out. All right. So that is the next plan. So let's go to full screen. And what do you guys think so far? How do you like what we're working on? We've already done 2 commands. We've got the version of Docker, and the version is pretty much universal in Python. Some of them is 1 hyphen, some of them are 2. And now we're able to pull in a Docker image. However, the ports are not available on our computer to be able to start that container, right? So we'll figure that out when we get back. Let's see if we have anything in the chat, and then we will get to our first breakpoint. So Ferris says that he's hungry, by the way. He said he's hungry, so I hope he gets something to eat. It says, I use GitLab at work, and he uses it for configuration management. Says, and he says that somebody made it sound like he has 10 jobs. I'm a peon. Okay, Ferris. Okay. Let's see. And Ferris says he does says configuration management, patch management, vulnerability management mostly, and tracking what engineers do, make changes on to correlate to the security alerts is specific assets or infrastructure. Exactly. So that's the thing that's the point that I was touching on. Like everyone uses like versioning and stuff like that because it's so easy to do once you get familiar with it. It's so easy to do. And let me see. Just closing off some software. So so now it's easy. Like some people use it for document management as well. You know, so it's very important that you learn GitHub because it's going to be foundational to a lot of your learning and your education. All right. So let me see if there's anything else before we get to it. And your car says that he's getting chicken wings. That's awesome. Awesome. All right. Next up, what do we have to talk about? We want to talk about, an email that I got. I got an email from ISTQB. So let's go and let's put this up. Before I'll read Alexis's comment once we get back from this little discussion, but you don't have to worry about that whatsoever because we're ready for you. We are ready for you. All right. So let's go to break one. So ISTQB email, job without any experience. They're going to tell you how they will help you get a job without any experience. So let me pull up this little email. I can find it. All right, there we go. And let's go to, let's see if this is going to work. Let's see if that's going to work. Let's go here. And let me see, I'm going to do this. Bear with me while I get this email up. Just do it this way. Let's go here and let me see if I can. There we go. So I got this email, right? From American Software Testing Qualifications Board, right? And it says how to build experience in software testing. Employers want experience, but if you never had a job in software testing, how can you build experience for your first job? And that is an excellent question. I know so many people have racked their brains with that question. Like they say, I need experience. However, I just learned this. I never actually had to work this before. How can I build experience? So let's see what they say. Or if you're between jobs, how can you keep, let me start a timer, by the way. Let's go with, hopefully this timer works. Yes, there we go. So how can you keep your, so if you're between jobs, how can you keep your resume current and your skills sharp? Here's what you should consider. So let's see what they say. What should you consider? The good news, right? The good news is that sometimes ISTQB certification can substitute for job experience. I'm going to tell you a little secret, all right? Listen up. ISTQB certifications will never, ever ever substitute for job experience. Sorry to tell you that, all right?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That will never happen. If you know how many people I've come across who are ISTQB certified and they can't even get an interview.
Bruh.
Why is that? Because on their resume, it will say that they are ISTQB certified, and that's it. That's it. It just means that they studied to pass a test. This thing is really, really annoying me right now. Give me a second. I thought I'd fixed this before. Maybe I fixed it for the other one. Pardon my OCD. All right, much better. Oh, that thing was driving me crazy. All right, so like I was saying, they'll apply for countless amount of jobs, but their resume has ICQB certified and then no skills, no work experience, no nothing. So ICQB will never substitute job experience. I'll tell you this. I was this morning on a coaching call, which I'm going to make a video about this for the Patreon as well, on how to search for jobs and reach out to different people in those companies. I'm going to make a Patreon video exclusive for that, right? But found this company and they were listing the requirements for the job. And at the very, very end, at the very, very bottom, they said desirable ISTQB certification or working your way towards it. So it's not even a requirement to get the job. They wanted you to actually do something before, just before, you know? So that's why I say this right here, you are fake news. I need the soundbite. I need the soundbite. You are fake news. You do not need, like, ICQB certification will not substitute job experience. Just saying. All right. So moreover, ICQB software testing certifications and AT asterisk or squared, I don't know, SQA software testing micro credentials are needed to prove your software testing knowledge, and testers report that they help getting interviews. Another, you are fake news. I've never even heard of this thing right here. And I guarantee you, most QA managers never heard of this either. All right? It's BS. Never heard of this. I remember, I know one person, I know two people who, it might be the same person, but they got ICQB certified. But guess when they actually got that certification? They got that certification after they became the QA manager for their company. And it was a requirement to have at least one person in your company have that certification to land a government contract. So another I call cap. Companies will always require you to have some type of experience, however you gain it, but it's not being able to pass a test. But how do you get experience if you don't have a job? One idea, use your testing skills in open source software projects. Open source software relies upon open collaboration, meaning...
Back to work, chop, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
How dare you?
Jesus, so rude. Anyways, like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted, right? Use your testing skills in open source software projects. That I agree. Open source software relies upon open collaboration, meaning any capable user can volunteer to help in development and testing. So so I agree with this, right? This is the only thing out of these 3 points that I agree with. However, this right here should have been the top one. I'm going to add another caveat to it, right? The companies, while this is cool that you contribute to open source, like for me, I would like, oh, that's pretty cool. Someone contribute to open source, right? The problem is working with open source projects is there's no formality. Because like they'll say, okay, wait, we need this done, we need that done. You can just pull something in, you develop it, you submit it as a what do they call it in GitHub again? A fork, right? You create a fork and then you try to merge it back, create a pull request, all that stuff, right? Now, here's the caveat. Here is the caveat. You don't get the so with this, you only get experience of doing like what you had learned in your boot camp or something like that, or in your online course. You don't get that real work experience. How do you work in Agile? How do you work with an actual team who is meeting, who are doing stand-ups, all that good stuff, right? That's lacking in here. It's better than these two, definitely better than these two, but it's lacking that work environment mentality on how you're going to work as a team. Just Friday night, one of my coaching group members who are looking into different things, but right now into product ownership and product management, from about 8 p.m. Eastern time till about almost 10 p.m. Eastern time, was doing a call with the stakeholders. Shout out to your car, one of the stakeholders, on how to build an application and getting what the requirements are of the application so that they can start creating stories, presenting it to the team so that we can build this application. You know? So, last up, get started today on a better resume and more job opportunities. Build and prove your skills. ISTQB software testing certifications and these other certification from ASTQB and AT*SQA or times SQA will add you to an official list of certified credentialed software testers, the at work list of testers for hire, and the ISTQB SCR. Guess what? I've never, like, in the past 15, or how long have I personally been hiring? In the past 12 years that I've been participating in the hiring process of different QA engineers, I have absolutely never, ever in my lifetime even known that this list existed.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Then use those skills to gain experience, get started. We have identified several open source projects that appear to need software testers. All right. And I'll wrap it up like this, right? I'll wrap it up with this story. And I've told it before. I've said it before. Let's go back to full screen. Go back to full screen. Okay. Let's fix that. Why is the full screen not working? I get so upset when things don't work. Oops. Oops. Guess I'll do it myself. All right. Not sure what's going on over here. Let me see. That worked. What in the world? Give me this. What is going on over here? What happened to that? Okay. There we go. That was so weird. All right. So this is the story real quick, right? Listen up. I was in this Discord a long time ago. No longer in that Discord, right? But I was in this Discord and it was a bunch of testers in there. And I had just started getting this channel off the ground, and they were all people who were looking to be into QA and stuff like that. Guess what? Guess how many of these people who were looking to get into QA, who signed up for coaching and who even signed up to the Patreon? Guess how many? Guess how many? The answer is absolutely none of them. Till this day, I don't think any of them has ever found a role.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, I asked him an interview question. I got this interview question like back in 2015, 2016. The interview question was, what values would you test? Alexa, there goes your first interview question. Your first interview question. You can think about it. You don't have to answer right now. You can think about it, right? What values would you test inside of a input field that only accepts values between 10 and 40? That was the question that I asked them. And they started, and all of them were studying for the ISTQB, and they started giving me this weird answer. It sounded like it was the theory of relativity or Pythagoras theorem. All I know, it was a bunch of words, and I was expecting numbers, and I was like, what in the world is going on here? When you are software testing, when you are engineering and you're developing, we don't need a story. We need code. We need answers. We need numbers. If I'm asking for numbers, I'm asking for an integer, don't give me a string. Well, they gave me paragraph upon paragraph, and I was still waiting for an answer. So, yeah. With that being said, that is why I pity the fool who solely relies on the ISTQB certification, even if they tell you that you will get a position with no experience as long as you pass the test. No, no, no.
Bruh.
All right, with that being said, we are going to jump into our second segment of this afternoon. But before that, let me read the chat, because I've been talking for way too long. So, Mitch, I just remembered, Mitch, because I saw the wait, let me get rid of this thing. I saw the watermelon picture. Mitch, I saw yesterday, believe it or not, my wife had on the TV this YouTube video of people growing watermelons like at home. And in the video, I saw the yellow watermelon. I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell Mitch about this. It did look pretty good, I must say. They had the green ones and the yellow ones. I was like, oh my God, Mitch was telling us the truth. Mitch was telling us the truth. All right, just wanted to share that. Just wanted to share that, Mitch, because that made me think about you. All right, so let's see. Fair says, I will get back on YouTube soon. My permanent schedule, streamline my topics. Awesome. We'll be looking for Ferris after dark. And your card says, today on fake news. Oh, there's so much fake news going on right now. And let's see. First is how to get fraud operation experience. Commit fraud. You know how those hackers who are so good that they get hired, they hack the government and then they get hired by the government. That's always a possibility. I guess I wouldn't recommend it, but that's always a possibility. Let's see. And so your card says, let's get some pen testing experience. And Varys says he's been penetrating all his life. Well, that's interesting. That's that is very true. I thought about the same thing. Let's do hashtag no Ferris. No Ferris.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Let's see. So the card says that your QR code is being covered. Yeah, I saw that, but I was like, it is what it is in this case. So let's see. And let's see. That's, well, you thought I was lying. I'm just saying. I was like, whoa, it was pretty cool too, the video. They used like this one crate to start the vine. And I never even knew that watermelons grew as a vine. I had no idea. And I saw the whole vine being grown and everything like that. And they had it like sitting on top of the crates. And then that was the video where they're growing it. But then I saw the video with the yellow ones and the red and the green ones. I was like, wow, I never knew so much about watermelons. So, you know, it says wait until you find a white one. Oh my goodness. I'm putting in my resignation. I'm done. It says I'm resign. Come on, Mitch. Where are you? I'll see you tomorrow morning, Mitch. I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Anyhow, let's get to our second segment. All right. Oh, I'll do this part of the second segment as well. So let's do our second one.
Let's go! Let's go!
So let me find this comment. So Rod Juice and Herb says, we'll download Docker, still a little confused at what it does. So that's okay. Why is that okay? Because that's why you're here, right? But overall, it a very, very high level explanation. It allows you to run different software, different technology in what they call a container. So here's an example. Let's say you make some juice, right? Alexis, let's say you make some juice. But you make and now you pour it into a container. So that container of juice is going to be one Docker container. So I'm going to show you an example. I'll show you an example, right? So let's say the image is the juice, right? So let's go to screen, right? Not that one. Let's go to this one. So I'm gonna do my best to show this, right? So let me see. Where's my mouse? All right, there goes the mouse. All right. So if I have, this is probably going to be the worst example ever given, but let's see how it goes. So let me see, Docker. All right. So right now it says that port 5000 is in use. So I'm just going to say use port. Let's go with 5050. Right. And what we expect to happen is it should start up this this container, hopefully. All right, there we go. So it started and running here. So if we go to our localhost port 5000, so let's see if we go here and let's say we go to localhost 5050 and we have hello world, right? So what this means is that we started this. Let me think how I can explain the image. The image is like a template, right? It's a foundation. So let's say the image is like your recipe. So you have a recipe book of your favorite raw juice and herbs, no pun intended, right? But you have your recipe book and you say, I'm going to make this juice, right? Give me a juice name, right? I'm going to make this juice. However, the recipe is not the actual juice made. You just have to make the juice and then you can customize it. So now when we go and we make the juice, right, we are pouring it into a container. So let me open up another one of these and I'm going to do a Docker command. Docker PS. So Docker PS is going to tell you, it's going to list to you the running containers, right? So using our very poor example of the recipe and making the juice and stuff like that, this container is the juice that's made and it's running in this container, right? So now what if I wanted to make another fill up another container. But this time it's a different, flavor of the juice, right? So what I'm going to do, let's say your recipe now is for, instead of Python juice, it's, okay, all right, sorry. I said Python juice, and that sounds absolutely disgusting, all right? But you know what I mean? But Python juice, don't drink Python juice, all right? I'm just saying. But we're going to do it with Java. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to copy this. And this time, or actually I'll just do Control T on this one. And I'm going to zoom in on this one over here. Let's go here. And let's go here. So by the way, the way that I'm positioning the screen, it's a free software called Rectangle for iOS, or not for iOS, for Mac OS, where you can what's the word I'm looking for? You can tile the different windows on your screen, right? So, anyways, so here I'm going to say, we're going to do the same thing, Docker run -p. Now we're going to use 5051 because 5000 being used, and we're going to map it and support 5000 in 28min/hello-world-java 0.0.0.1.release, right? So now when we run this, you can't find it locally. It's downloading the files. It's downloading all the components that make up the image. And it's going to start the same application, but this time it's made with Java instead of Python. And now it's running. So now if we go to here, so RESTful service application. So now if we go over here and we say localhost 5051, we have the same app running in Java using, I guess it's using the Spring framework. And we have it running in Java. We have it running over here. So we have now, if we do another Docker PS, we have Hello World Java, which is the one that we just have running. Right now it's on port 5051. That's exposed to us. And then for Python, it's port 5050. If we take this last one right here, for Node, run. Okay, so we can do, all right, fine. Detach mode. All right, so I'm just gonna copy, I'll type it out. So we're gonna do another one here where we do Docker run -p. We're gonna do 5052, map it into port 5000 in 28min/hello-world-node.js :0.0.1.release. You run that. Typo. Hello world. Enter. And now that one's gonna download. So now we have 3 different applications for Hello World running inside in Docker, running in 3 different containers. So you don't have to do a bunch of installation on your computer, one for Java, one for Python 1 Jenkins on how to set up an application. So high level, at least with the Tech Barbarians, when we're doing our testing and stuff, we don't have to start up a database manually. We don't have to start up anything manually. We just use a Docker file, which it's in this course, but we'll talk about. But you do Docker compose, and then it spins up the entire application for you with one command, and you don't have to worry about managing all the different containers and components of it. So, but we'll definitely get into that more. But now if we go to here, we do localhost 5052. We have hello world with JavaScript. And we go here. So now you have your, move that up. You have your, let me clear this up, and Docker PS. So you have your Python juice, right? Python juice. You have your Java juice, and you have your Node juice, all in separate containers based off the image of in 28-minute Python. Hopefully my terrible example made a little bit more sense. Now there's some additional commands that you can use when you are working with Docker. And here's going to be another example. Not yet. That is totally fair. That is totally fair. But there's some other commands. So like, let's say, so we're going to use the same one, because let's say you make your juice recipe, but there is, I don't really like that. That doesn't. Well, yeah, let's use that, right? So let's say you make the recipe with node juice, right? And now you want to, but you don't want to, you see how here, whenever I get it started, I lose my command prompt, right? So I want to be able to keep the command prompt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start up another one, or move that over here. I'm going to start up another one, and I'm going to say, so Docker run, let's do 5054. Are we on 54? We're on 53. 5053. Map it back into port 5000, because port 5000 is the port that is exposed inside of the container. But I want it to run -d. D is for detached. So P is for port, D is for detached. What does detached mode mean? Well, let's find out. Let's run it. And what happens is it's going to run the application in the background. Like it's running Docker, because right now I just gave you the I forgot what this is called. It's called the container ID, maybe? I don't remember what this is called, but whatever. So now when we go over here and we do another, let me clear this out. Docker, I can do this. Clear and Docker PS. So when we do this, now you see it's running another instance of, let me make this bigger. It's running another instance of Node, same as this one, on port 5053, but it's running it in the background, because now I still have my command prompt, right? So I can do, so we're going to use the same one. We're going to do the same thing, run it in detached mode for Python. So -d, we have to change the port number again. We're gonna do that one on 5054. Right, so that's running, and we do a Docker PS again. Oh, shoot. All right, Docker PS. And we have Python 5054. So let's do this. Let's go over here, and we'll do local, just so you can see that it's still up, localhost 5053. We have our JavaScript, localhost, What is localhost? Localhost just means that's running locally on your computer. Localhost 5054. We have Python, but we still have our terminal that we can continue to work, right? So now let's say we do the they didn't have the last one, but let's do the Java one anyways, right? So let's do it ourselves. So let's do docker run -d -p 5055 map into 5000, and we're gonna do n28 min / hello world -java and then 0.0.1.release. All right, and we do enter, and it's running. We do a docker ps. We have our Java running again, port 5055. We try it out. Boom. So if we run through each tab, we have 5050 Python, 5051 Java, but these two, we don't have them running in detached mode, so it's controlling our IDE, right? 5052 JavaScript, 5053 JavaScript, 5054 Python, and these are running in detached mode so that we can continue to have our terminal to do whatever we want, right? As the TI song says, you can do whatever you like with the IDE, right? And then we have our last one with Java, 5055. So what does Docker allow you to do? What is one of the benefits of Docker? It allows you to quickly spin up different applications. So here's the usefulness of it, right? The exact way that the software engineer built it and is running it in Docker, like using like on their computer with Docker, all you have to do is run that same command that they're using, and then you should be able to get the exact same way that the application is running. So no more need for the term works on my computer. It works on my Docker container and image, my Docker compose file. So what does that mean? The same way that it works on my computer is the same exact way that it should work on your computer, is the same exact way it should work on the deployment on the server, barring configuration issues, right? But that's the idea. That's the thought behind it. So if that doesn't make sense, trust me, give me about 2 weeks to a month. It's going to make plenty of sense to you, because everyone who came in, they were like, Docker what? Docker who? But then they're like, we are Docker geniuses. All right, so don't even worry about it. But hopefully that starts to plant the seed into how the images work. The image is more like the recipe, the template, and then the container is like what's actually the software is being ran out of, or the juice is being poured into and drank out of, you know? So please forgive my terrible, terrible analogy.
Bruh.
Where's Mitch when you need him to say that analogy was trash? Mitch is being nice today. All right, let's continue. Let's see. So let's keep looking at this. So Docker logs. Let's look at Docker logs. What are Docker logs? So you can see the log of a container. Let's do a quick look real quick. What is this long number right here? So let's see if we were to look at the latest one. So this container ID, let me see. It's going to be the first however many characters of here. So when they put this container ID over here, that's the container ID that's created, right? So if we go here, there goes that one. So we could do a couple of things we could do. We can, let's say we were to take this one right here and we do Docker, because you can do that. Let's say you do this right here, Docker logs, and like that, you're going to get the logs on the server. All right. But you could also do, maybe I shouldn't have did that. Let me see. We'll do it in another tab, just so we can keep this. So let's say we were to take half of it, and we're gonna go here. We say Docker logs. So now you can put different parts of it as long as it becomes unique enough, right? So now that's giving you the log. So in Python they're using they use it with Flask, right? Flask is a development environment for Python. And let's say we were to take these first here, and we say Docker logs, and now we have our logs, right? So you see, so they're showing you like the different ways you can run it. View the logs of a Docker container with a given container ID or name.
Lunch break.
So on our next segment, we're going to start looking into the Docker images. All right. So hopefully that starts giving you some type of insight, starts to plant a seed in how Docker works and things like that. It is like one of the foundational tools used in DevOps. All right. So shout out to that. Let's go back to full screen. And let's take a look at the chat, and then we're going to talk about something that I saw. All right. So let's see. Raji's your car set. So Farrah says snake juice is crazy. So I'll tell you a little story about snake juice, right? There's this kind of crazy, but not so crazy, but he's kind of crazy. But there's a guy who promotes like a fasting diet, and the electrolytes that his concoction for electrolytes, he calls it snake juice. So it's kind of funny because those are the electrolytes mix that I drink. It's pretty much just potassium, sodium, baking soda, and the magnesium thing. What is it? What do they call it? What do they call it? What do they call that magnesium? Whatever, it's magnesium. I forgot the actual name that they call it, but it's called. He named it snake juice. But yeah. So let's see what else he got. Your car says, I thought it was snake oil, not juice. Vitamix with Python in it is wild. And so Alexa says, not yet, but it will. Trust me, it will. But hopefully that juice example, or not, starts to give an example, starts to like plant a seed. Let's say, and we need that content for the tech barbarians. Let's see. So, Ralph, your juice bar will fail within 6 months with these flavors. And that, your car, is why I stick to tech. Yep, I just stick to tech. Just stick to tech. And we got my guy in the building. What's up, fam? What's going on, Junior? How are you doing this lovely Sunday afternoon?
I appreciate you.
Let's see what else we got. And Ferris says, enjoy the juice talks. Bitches, I am not participating in foolishness. My last day here. Goodness, like, you know what? I am going to, if I had feelings, I would have anxiety because Mitch leaves forever. It's his last day every other stream. And I come on and I'm like, oh man, Mitch is not going to be here today. And then he's here, and then he's here the next day. And then he's like, and then the next, he's like, oh, I'm not going to be here anymore. And then I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
I hate it here. No!
Make sure you remember about the non-compete agreement, Mitch. Just make sure you remember that. All right. I'm just saying. And your car says, hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Icky Docker Shady. Did not see that one coming. All right. And let's see, says, you can't leave. You got to keep Ralph Hart from freezing over. It is that close. It is that close to being cold. Let's see. Double R. Let's see. Double M squad. Your car. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean like typing it over. All right. Let me get to this story real quick. You guys are gonna get me in trouble. All right. So what is the story? What is the story that I speak of? So, real quick. I saw a post. It was a short, I think. I don't know. I saw a post. I saw a video on YouTube, right? Not gonna get into any details, but I call it doubling up. They said, how can you double your salary in 90 days? Yes, how can you double your salary in 90 days? So, and I'm gonna say this, more bootcamp, quote unquote, misspeaking. You know, the media has a new way of rebranding a lie into saying, oh, you know, they just misspoke in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. That's when they realized that it was a misspoke in all those prior 14 years. And now it wasn't a lie. It was just a misspeak. So how do you double your salary in 90 days? Well, the answer is you just get 2 jobs. As Mitch said, you job stack, right? You job stack. Well, it's not showing, but you job stack, right? Let me get this off the screen, right? You job stack. You do like Ferris and you have 10 jobs. Now Ferris is making 10 times. He multiplied his salary by 10. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, right? But how many people are actually, right? How many people are actually wanting to work 2 or 3 40-hour jobs? People, I mean, the majority of people, right? The majority of people, they barely want to work 1 job, right? But now you're going to say, well, you can double your salary. You can triple your salary by working 2 jobs and 3 jobs, etc. Not only that, it's kind of a dangerous thing to do because a lot of companies, they have an agreement that you're only going to be working exclusively as a W-2 company for them, right? Now, it's one thing if you have your own business or whatever you do, and you're learning how to grow your business where you can, but as we were saying yesterday, fast money is very, very dangerous. Now you have to figure out, how am I going to be in 2 sprint reviews, 2 stand-ups at one time? Oh, what if I unmute the wrong, I've read some overemployed stuff where they say, hey, the same developer that I work with, we're working for the same 2 companies. But do you want to go the route of doubling your salary just by doubling the amount of work you do when you don't even like your 1 job? So now you're going to get 2? That reminds me of the people who are in relationships that they're unhappy with, and they're like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be with this person anymore. So what do? Let's break up. Nope. Let's get married. Let's have a kid. That's like when your strategy to double your salary is to get a second full-time job when you hate your first one. That is not an honest way to say, oh, this is how I doubled up my salary. This is how I doubled my salary in 90 days. I just got a second job. I'm not going for it. All right. I'm saying if you want to double up your salary, increase your skill set, increase your value, look for real opportunities instead of just having to force yourself to work twice as hard, which at that point you're doubling your salary, but you're still making the same exact amount per hour. Look to how can you increase your value, and then what you learn, how you can expand that to monetize your education and what you've learned, instead of just saying, I'm just going to work twice as hard, work smarter, not harder. All right. So that is my thoughts for this second break. All right. Let's get rid of that. And let's see, read the chat real quick, and then we'll get to our last segment. So we have some suggestions in the chat. So let's see what we say. So Mitch had said job stack. Yukar says you can double your salary in 90 days by learning how to whip up that work in the pot. No, Yukar. Let's not promote that. Says price of the brick is going up. Hashtag tech pookies. And it says if the right start to hurt, then move to the left. Ambidextrous. Mitch trying to trip me up on my words. You know, me and more than 2-syllable words, we don't get along. Tech is the only 10-hour week. I don't know. Some people, I work more than 10 hours a week. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's see. So, Ferris, another way to double it up is only, I disagree. Ferris, I disagree. Because I heard a big 99% of them, it costs them more to be on there than they're actually making, right? It's like 2 jobs be like 15 hours. We'll see. But people don't even want to work their one job for 10 hours. Just saying. And Chris says you could get flued to Dubai like an IG. Oh, we do not want to talk about what happens over there. We do. It says do contract then. That still doesn't negate the point that most people don't even want to work one job. All right. Let's see. Ferris says nothing is wrong with 6 kids. Of course not. Nothing is wrong with 6 kids. Nothing's wrong with 20 kids. Let's see. It says, so I'm starting to think some companies have IT just to say they have it, not because they're taking full advantage of it. I think the companies are more like, let's get the work done, but we also don't want to make it a terrible environment for our employees, although some of them do, but we don't want to make it a terrible environment so they can keep coming back. It says, just start a YouTube career. Trust me, that is not easy either. That is definitely not easy. Let's see. So what about people promoting RPA engineer stacking? If you can, I mean, but the keyword, Mitch, is they're promoting it. Why are they promoting it? What are they getting from promoting it, huh? It says until they all in college. Let's see. Until they all in college, and it says I agree with that. All right, cool. So let's get to. Did we get one more? All right, no, we're good. Let's get to our last segment of the show. There's 20 minutes left. I won't even start the last timer. Let's go with that. All right, so let's continue to look at these Docker commands. All right, so Docker images. What are Docker images, right? So here we have container. These are running containers, right? We could also see with a Docker ps-a to see all the containers, which all the containers are the same ones that we currently have running, right? However, actually, no, we have this one here, Crazy Hopper. That one didn't actually get started. But what are Docker images though? So we have, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 containers that are created. 7 of them are running. This is the Jenkins ones from Thursday. And these are the ones that we just created today, right? But what are the images? So the images are, for example, the recipe book that I was talking about. So if we do Docker images, we have only 3 images. So for instance, we have 3 recipes, but we have one Java and 2 Java. We have 1 Python and 2 Python. So and this might help. This might help. Maybe not, right? But from this one Java, hello world Java, we are able to create as many containers as our heart desires. So the image is that template that I was speaking of, and the container is the results of, it's like when you're in school and you'd use Microsoft Word to create a template, using a template, right? Or if you're using Google Docs and you have a template, the template stays the same, but what you create based off that template is going to be your container. And now you can run the container to do whatever you want with it. You can make modifications to it. You can even create, which as we get into more details about this, I can show like the Docker file, which is used to create Docker images. I can show my Docker Compose file that we use for the Poopy Pants application. But this is what happens, right? So one image can create however many containers that you want. So this one image right here has 2, and each of them has 2, but we can easily let's say we go here and we go to let's go here. Let's change this to 5056. Another one is started. If I do, let's do Docker images and Docker PS. So we still have the 3 images right here, our templates. Think about images as a template. And we have another one of these that gets spinned up 10 seconds ago. This is the Java one. So now we have 3 Javas. 1, 2, 3. All right. So that is so that's Docker for you, right? Now, so that's Docker images. That's Docker. We looked at how to run a Docker container, how to run it in detached mode so we can still keep our terminal. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. We looked at running in detached mode. We looked at the Docker logs, Docker images, how to list the Docker images, Docker containers. And so this one is saying list all containers, including the failed one. So we did that already. So you can do Docker containers ls like this. Let me go clear. Docker containers ls or Docker container ls, right? Or you can just do Docker ps. You get the same results, right? And you can do Docker container ls-a, and it'll list to you all the containers that you have, even the ones that aren't started. And you can also do Docker ps-a, which is going to give you the same results, all the containers, even the ones that aren't started, all right? So now to stop running a Docker container, you could do You can use the whole thing as well, but we can do, if we go here, go to this one, let's clear that out, say Docker. You can do, so Docker container, stop, and then you paste the ID. That's going to stop it. But you can also do, let's take up another container. You can do Docker stop, just stop, and then the ID of the container, and it's going to stop it. Right? So you can write out, you can write the whole thing, or because Docker defaults to container, so you don't even need to include the word container. You can just say Docker stop and then ID. Another thing you can do, which I don't see them showing here, maybe they'll show it later on. You can take the name, because you can also customize the name that you want for the container, but if you don't give it a name, it's going to give one for you, right? So we can take the name. So let's do a Docker PS one more time. Let's say we take this name, Optimistic Dubinsky, and you do Docker stop, and you say Optimistic Dubinsky. It's going to turn that. It's going to stop down as well. And if you want to start it, right, start, and you can just give it the same ID, the same name, whatever you want. You can start it the same way, right? So I'm going to stop it again. Docker stop. Now that's stopped. Okay. And so this says run Docker container with a REST API in detached mode. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could do that. It doesn't hurt. Just going to copy it. And we also need to change this to, let's say this is going to go to 50. Let's go to 50, 55. I don't think we used that one already. So now it's going to download the image. So your car is feeling left out. I will create one just for you, your car. Let's just wait for this one to finish downloading. And I'm just going to go up. And we're going to change this. I'm going to give it a name, right? Let's say 56. Oops. And we're going to give it a name. I think it's dash name. Oops. And we're going to call it Tech Pookie. And it's going to do the same thing. So now if we go to do Docker PS, and now look, there is a Docker container named Tech Pookie just for your car. Always representing. All right, so now this is on, so let's say we go to, see, if we go to localhost, the 55, we have a healthy true is up. And if we go, let's say we go to our Talend tester. Let me make this bigger for now. And we go to localhost 5056, enter. And we get a healthy true. So your car's container is also healthy, right? So, and now we were able to give it a name. So let's get this back to how it was. What else? So next up, they have Docker pull MySQL, search for Docker images in registry, show history of a Docker image, show history of a Docker image with the given ID. So let's keep going. Let's keep going, right? So let me clear this out. I'm gonna clear this one out as well. Let's do Docker. So what is Docker pull? Docker pull is only going to get a local copy of that image from whatever registry you're connected to. Because you can use a Docker Hub, which it defaults to, but you can also have a registry of like your private or public repositories inside of Amazon Web Services through Elastic Registry. I'm pretty sure you can have it through Azure. I'm pretty sure you can have it through Google Cloud Platform as well. But we're going to just do a Docker pull MySQL, right? So by doing that, you can think of that as equivalent to you finding the recipe that you want, and now you are actually pulling that recipe into your computer so that you can know how to make it, and you can use that as your foundation, you know? So it's like this. When you go to the store and you're buying, Mitch, your car, I do not eat this. I'm just going to give an example. When, let's say you buy a pack of hamburger helper, right? That's like you are buying the image at the store, you take it home, and now when you cook it, because so right now we're pulling that hamburger helper from the store into our home, right? Now when we cook it, it's going to turn into a container, except the image is everlasting. This stream might end up like the Billy Madison stream, or Billy Madison movie, when he was trying to share about the Industrial Revolution. Yep, that might be where we're headed with this stream. I was trying to make it understandable, but it might just be a total failure. All right, so it is pulled from, so the Docker image is pulled from MySQL. And then there's also a command, which I wasn't familiar with this command, search Docker images in a registry. So that's pretty cool. So let's say Docker search MySQL. So it's going to show you all the registries that have MySQL in its name. So if I do Docker, where's this? Shit. Let's close that one down. So if we say Docker search Mongo, you have all the different images that have Mongo associated with it, with the name at least. All right. What else do we have? So Docker image history. So let's do a history of this one. All right, let's go ahead and Docker image history. Let's clear that out. Oops. Clear. Let's go to Docker image history. So the image history is going to tell you when it was created, when it was updated, all this type of stuff. So in this history of this one, it was created initially 5 years ago, and then they did a bunch of work on it, and then this is how, like 2 years ago, they updated on how you actually started, how you get in. All right. Let's see. All right, so now let's take a look at our images. So you can do the same thing to see, and this is like looking at the version history on like a Google Doc, a template or something like that, right? So let's say we take the image ID of, let's use one of mine, right? Let's use one of mine, and we do that one's not going to be good because we can try that one. I don't think that's going to be a good one because that image was created for the first time on this computer. But let's see what happens, right? Docker image history. And that goes back 2 weeks ago. But it has a history of it like being worked on and built and stuff like that. Let's go to the Jenkins one. What's missing? Oh, Docker. What? Docker image history. Jesus. Must be. What am I? Oh, that's why. What? That's why. And there goes the history of that one. So it's going to do it for, all right. So there we go. Let's go to, what else do we have here? So Docker image history, Docker image inspect. Let's do a Docker image inspect, right? Docker image inspect, and we'll just copy this one. And what is it inspect? So so inspect the Docker. What does that even mean? All right. So what does inspecting a Docker image do? So Docker inspects provides detailed information on constructs controlled by Docker. By default, Docker inspect will render results in JSON. Let's see if we can get some understanding of Docker inspect. Let's go to the official Docker inspect. Docker inspect provides detailed information on constructs controlled by Docker. By default, Docker inspect is this. Target type, container, node. Inspect the size. Let's see here. Interesting. All right, I'm pretty sure we'll get more into Docker inspect as we go through this. So Docker image remove MySQL. So I'll give you a quick example with MySQL, right? So I remember like it had to be like maybe 10 years ago. I'm learning MySQL. I'm learning MySQL, and I install MySQL locally on my computer, on my laptop. It absolutely took over my computer. It started running so slow and stuff like that. Now with Docker, you don't have to go through all the heavy lifting of installing MySQL, because guess what? If you're trying to learn QA, if you're trying to learn software engineering, you don't have to know how to install MySQL as your database. So in order for you to use it, you just need to know how to use it, how to connect to it, how to add data to it. You don't need to know all the ins and outs of it. So that's where Docker comes in, and you just do a command, just like we did with these. We do a Docker run, and then it's going to start up MySQL for you, and then you can log into it and use it, do whatever you want, right? Now, if you go to, let's try this Docker. If we do Docker remove MySQL, or Docker image remove MySQL. All right, so that's out of there. So now if we do, see, I never had it before. Oh God, I should have did it before. Because now I never showed it, which is my mistake. I should have showed it. Well, no, we have it here, MySQL, right? So now if we do Docker images again, now MySQL is gone. MySQL is gone. So let's see what else we got. It looks like time is up. I didn't get my sound. What in the world is going on here? Hold on a second. Hmm. Let's see here. Didn't play that. Oh, that's weird. Let's go with. That's what it was supposed to. No. I don't know. Weird, but just about that time to go. It is just about that time to go. I know why the timer didn't finish. Oh, I know why, because I had stopped. Whatever. Whatever. At least we know. At least we know. Let me take that off then, and we're gonna wrap it up for today. I had to reset the stream deck, so that's why the timer didn't go off like it should. So I'm going to get rid of that, and we'll just play the wrap it up sound. So.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
So we left off. So where we removed the Docker image. So you see it's not there anymore. So next week when we pick up, we're going to be removing some more images, removing some containers. Let's see, all of this stuff over here. Pause. Oh, I didn't know you could pause a running container. This is going to be a game changer right here. Pause and unpause. That's going to be pretty interesting. I never heard of that one before. Stop a container with a given container ID or name. We think we did that already. Yeah, we did that already. Cool. So I would say that get Docker, play around with these commands, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's go back to full screen. All right. So what do you guys think? How was that? Let me check the chat, and then I have a, like Usher said, these are my confessions. I have a confession to make at the end, right? I gotta do better. I gotta do better. So let me check out the chat, and then we will wrap it up from there. Okay. So Mitch is like everlasting, like Ralph, catching these hands. And your car says, fight, fight, fight. It says, why? I'm actually starting to understand Docker. What? I guess the example wasn't as bad as I thought. I sometimes my examples can be a very, very big stretch, but if it helped, then we win. And it says, because Ralph is a good teacher. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just try to find something to relate it to, but who knows? And Mitch says he's taking notes. It says it's not like that anymore. Let's see what else we got. Says you don't need a bunch of standalone products to get through it now. Exactly. Says, I know the bell didn't ring, but class is over and people are in the hallway. And I just keep talking, right? I just keep talking. It wasn't the example. All right. We're going to get out of here. We are going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, my confession. I almost forgot. See, I tried to skip over it, right? So I need to do better. You know what I found out yesterday? And it was by chance. I went into Facebook to check if the stream went to Facebook, and then Facebook's like their business manager thing. And I saw that I actually had where did I get this message from? I think it was on Instagram. I got a message from Alexis. And I was like, I had never seen it. I was like, geez, I gotta manage my social media better. And then I went on Twitter, and someone had sent me a message there, or on X, someone sent me a message there about someone who's interested in like speaking to me, and like that was from last week. I was like, what? This is terrible. But luckily I got in contact with them. But I need to do better. But that's why I am training a social media manager to be able to look into all those things. Because imagine you have to go check Reddit, you have to check Facebook, you have to check Instagram, you have to check X. Like because my eyes are usually on YouTube. But if you're going to be putting the content over there, then you got to check it out over there too. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be working closely with my upcoming social media manager so that we can make sure we have 0 bags fumbled. All right. So that is my confession. I need to do better. All right. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. I have a question for you as always. The question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
are you not entertained? I'm very, very well entertained. I had a great time hanging out with you guys, going over these Docker commands. So your car says it's how you explain it when you go over the commands. Ah, okay. That.
I appreciate you.
See, Mitch never gives me, I think Mitch has given me, in the whole year that I've known Mitch, he's given me half a compliment before. He's like, that wasn't bad. The other half was trash, right? The other half was trash. But that other half, it wasn't too bad. I'm like, oh, Mitch, I will take that from you, right? And Mitch says, all I hear are excuses. See what I mean? You see what I mean? See what I mean? He's like, nope. You won't even get a full praise. You just get half a praise. And always entertained as always. But you guys know that. You guys know. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price because...
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up because inflation is kicking our butts. And on that note, my tech barbarians, my tech savages, and my tech pookies, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And you take care. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday as well. Talk to you in the morning, Alexis. You guys, we're out. Take care. We are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.